And welcome to our Smash News Network space station, coming at you with another exciting daily space weather video here. Let's get right into it. Here's the last 24 hours on ionized helium from the SDO, and looking a little bit like the Death Star up here. We've also seen another X-class flare down here in the southwest, as well as some M flares since yesterday. Exciting stuff going on as we see a massive uptick in solar cycle 25. There are some coronal mass ejections. We'll be making 3 videos about space weather today. Make sure you view them in all of our locations. Next thing we're going to show is a composite image. Actually, a series of images, and it's just spectacular. So this is actually 3 wavelengths here, 335, 193, and 94 angstroms. Zoom out to 67% here. There you go. You can see a large M-class flare and an X2 class flare as well in the southeastern limb, reinforcing the concept that large solar flares are more likely to happen near the solar limbs than when they're right in the Earth-facing zone. There is some reasonable, plausible physics behind it. Has to do with things like black body radiation. We're not going to cover it in our daily space weather videos. We'll have to save that for a future heliophysics and cosmology video. Here's a close-up of just a couple of flares there. That's just today. You see an M-class flare and an X-class flare in that series of images there. That's just today, April 20th. And that's just between the hours of 0 dark 100. It's between 0 hour and 4:30 is that video there in ionized helium. We slowed it down to 10 frames per second for your viewing pleasure. Now let's talk about the Radioflux. We've seen a new high in the Radioflux. It's now at 160 solar flux units. There it is. And by the way, the peak of solar cycle 24 was only down here. It never even reached 175. So we are already almost at the radio peak of solar cycle 24. There you go, 160 solar flux units. Let's take a look at it on the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard. If you scroll down to the bottom here, there is the Radioflux progression. You can see right here, solar cycle 24 never even reached 175 solar flux units. Solar cycle 25 is all the way up here. So if you think you're looking at a grand solar minimum, I don't know what you're looking at. Think again. Let's see what the forecast is from NOAA for space weather storms. None in the forecast, and we don't see any coronal mass ejections headed Earth's way at the moment. And let me check the life of the stream before I continue on. This video was originally streamed live to Twitch at twitch.tv/smashomash. Thanks to our Twitch followers. Thanks Tin Man for leaving a comment. Tinman57, good morning to you as well. Continuing on to look at earthquakes. We see a bit of a global earthquake uptick here in the past 24 hours. Keep in mind, folks, any earthquake can be a foreshock. I feel like a broken record saying it. We've got a swarm in the Caribbean. We've got a swarm at the Antarctic/Pacific and Atlantic plate boundaries. It's a small uptick since yesterday. Although not as large a quakes, we're seeing some quakes in some more out there regions. So there's a 5.0 at the Philippines. The largest of the past 24 is actually a 5.9. That's this one here at the Loyalty Islands there, north of New Zealand. I guess it's actually lower activity than yesterday. I think we reported 2 6 plus magnitude quakes yesterday. So, but keep in mind, folks, any earthquake can be a foreshock. Let's hope that 4.0 off of Bandon, Oregon is not a foreshock for some massive Cascadia earthquake. And before we move into volcanoes, welcome everybody to the Neo Renaissance. Congratulations on realizing the channel exists. Did you know we're writing a publication plausibly explaining the solar sunspot and solar polar field reversal cycles? You can find all of our links there, links to our social media accounts, links to the Smash Team. If you'd like to support the channel, become a member of the Smash Team. You can still support us via Patreon and PayPal and by picking up merch. Again, here's the Smash Team. And yeah, the F-107 is getting louder, folks. It's a big deal. And we included that as a post. This post here is only for paid gold and silver subscribers. So if you want additional content, join at the silver or gold level. The best value is the gold annual paid-up subscription. Another great value is proclaiming Universum Liberate. So for the low, low price of $29.99, for example, you could get a premium scoop t-shirt with the motto of the Galactic Federation Special Forces, Universum Liberate. To quote Geddy Lee of Rush, if I could wave my magic wand, I would set everybody free. So perhaps help us out with some tangible goods, like the Universum Liberate Galactic Special Forces equipment for your summer gear. Speaking of summer gear, we may be featuring feeds on the channel coming from Two Pineapples. So make sure you check out Two Pineapples, this great YouTube channel which is featuring live feeds of the Halema Uma'u lava lake, part of the Kilauea volcanic system. It's just spectacular. I mean, check it out, folks. There you go. There's some real-time imagery for you of the Halema Uma'u lava lake. It's just spectacular. Yeah, Halema Uma'u. And we're looking to get Two Pineapples on for an interview on the channel soon. Let's see what volcanoes are erupting. It turns out that Karimsky is indeed on the list. And that's what the image you're seeing there is. That's the Kamchatka Peninsula there, folks. That is Karimsky producing a dense ash cloud there. It was a 28,000-foot plume of volcanic ash produced from Karimsky, flight level 280, over that part of the Kamchatka Peninsula. That's eastern Russia, if you're wondering where it is. Manam also erupting in a rather spectacular fashion here, so it's a volcanic uptick, 45,000-foot ash plume from Manam on Papua New Guinea. It's a flight level 450. Semeru also exploding, flight level 130. The East Javan volcano. Ruapahu on the North Island of New Zealand continues showing some interesting unrest here over the past 4 weeks. There is a lake which has a funky gray color. It's like a drywall gray color in the lake as a result of upwellings, and it's quote, an observation flight and sampling of the crater lake were performed last week to further assess the activity. Our scientists observed some upwelling in the lake, indicating that hot gas and liquid are still making their way into the lake. Fuego in Guatemala exploding, flight level 160. Nevado del Ruiz in Colombia exploding, flight level 200. It's a 20,000-foot ash plume from Nevado del Ruiz. 2 Ecuadorian volcanoes showing up on the list. Sangay and Revenador. Sangay, 20,000-foot ash plume from Sangay, 15,000-foot ash plume from Revenador as they both explode, fertilizing the South American country. Last but not least, Sabancaya exploding. Continuous ash emissions to 23,000 feet of altitude are an indication to please do not pole vault the caldera. Please do visit our links. Please do support the channel. Thanks everybody for tuning in to the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. And may that solar wind be at your back.